Morning all. Well, I'm going to say late morning. I'm guessing around 10 o'clock or so. I had to work for a couple hours this morning, but as soon as I got off work, I had everything in the truck. I headed on up. We're going to be working on an old tailings pit today. Now, nice looking hunk of conglomerate right here at my feet. Okay, where was I? Okay, well, before we get started, it's story time. Now, I've been out detecting twice now, and both times I was unable to make a video. The first time I went out with Bedrock Bennett and Prospector Jerry from California Mother Lode Prospectors. Went up to a spot out in the middle of nowhere, up to a really nice looking old hydraulic pit, and metal detected there for a while, and nobody found anything there, so Bennett decided to take us on a scenic tour down into, I don't have any other description other than the canyon from hell. And luckily for me, I came out with 2 pieces of gold. Now I tried to shoot a video, but with all the hiking and after a while trying to keep up with those young guys, I pretty much gave up on the video idea. Well then the next weekend, we decided to go up to a tailings pit that I picked. Now the hike wasn't bad, and we had quite a group. We had Prospector Jerry, Bedrock Bennett, Jeff came with us along with the Mining Hawaiian. The problem with this trip was, you talk about breakdowns as far as camera gear goes. I had dead batteries, I had forgot to turn the sound system on, you name it, it went wrong. I got a little bit of video out of it, but basically nothing I can put together to make a video. Now I did pick up, I think 4 pieces of gold, but Jerry probably made a video, and I think Jeff will have a video, but you're not going to get a video out of me on that one either, because too busy having fun as usual. But at the end of this video, the reason I'm bringing this all up is at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the gold that I got in those 2 previous trips. So doesn't matter what happens today, there's gold at the end of this video. Okay, now, what are we doing today? Well, today, my project today is to head on out, and been at this tailing pit before, and I've found gold, I think every time I've come up here. I've never found anything of any size. It's always been small gold, but it always produces some gold. So today's project is more than finding the gold. I want to try to explain, since I'm by myself and can concentrate on it, I want to explain how I approach a tailings pit and what I look for when I'm looking for the gold. Okay, well, I think from this point, I'm going to get rid of this sweatshirt because it's already warming up. Grab my gear and let's head on out. We got a bit of a walk before we go out, get out to the area I want to work. Okay, see you over there. And I don't know why, but I'm going to throw this chunk of conglomerate in the back of the truck. I don't know, it just looks good to me. So I'm going to take this home and break it up. Okay, now let's head over there. Well, we made it out to where I want to work, and the first thing I want to go over is, what do I look for? Now, well, actually, even before that, if you're able to, you want to do as much research on the area you're going to go. The basic thing you need to find out is, how much gold did they find and what size was it? Because if they found nothing but, 100 mesh gold, you're wasting your time out here with a metal detector. So I know that this pit, everything up to 1/4 ounce was fairly common. You know, anything above 1/4 ounce, you know, got mentioned, but you know, the 1 to 3 pennyweight pieces were pretty common. So we know we can find those with the metal detector. So we know this is a good area. Now the next thing you want to look at is this. Basically, it was a river at one time. And so the characteristics you look for in a river are the same characteristics you want to look for here. Now, grant you things have been moved around, but like the boulders, this area right here, these are all fairly small rocks. Okay, they're gonna move these a few feet, but they're not gonna pack them around here and dump them somewhere else. They're gonna move them the minimal amount. So the rocks in this area are the rocks that the river laid down in this area. So what you want to look at is the same thing you do when you're down at the river. If you're in real light where there's nothing but sand and small pieces of gravel, you're not going to find any large pieces of gold there. These rocks here I consider minimal. Now the only difference is if you're looking, since there's, these are, most all of these are quartz. Now if you're looking for gold in the quartz, that's a different story. You want to look everywhere that the quartz is. But basically what we're looking for is pieces of gold, nuggets that have been freed from the quartz by the river millions of years ago. So they've been deposited by the river, so we need to take that in account of what we're going to be looking at here. Now to me, this gravel is a little too small. We're not going to find anything of any size, I don't think, right here. But I look at the gravel size, the gravel color. Okay, now let's go over here a ways. There's some stuff over here I want to show you. You can tell that this gravel is much different than the gravel we were at earlier. The rocks are much larger, they're darker, they're well-worn, smooth, shiny. These are heavy rocks. And then even like the quartz that you find in here, the quartz is still large, but it's stained. A lot of the rocks got this staining on them that is basically like a natural rust. It's the black sands, when they set in the bed, they'll actually cement up. That mineralization will cement up in the river and stain the rocks this way. So we know that this part of the river, put that down before I drop it on my foot. This part of the river had much more flow because everything here is heavier. So the more flow means larger gold. We're not concerned with the flour gold because we're not able to find that with the metal detector. So we don't want to look in that area that has the smaller rocks, the smaller gold, because our odds of finding a nugget are a lot less than they are in this area. Okay, now there's one more thing I look for, and let's run around here and see if we can find it. Okay, this is the third thing I look for in the pits. Huge boulders. Now you know that this boulder hasn't moved much from where it originally was. Unless it was in their way, they're not gonna take the time it takes to move this rock. The reason I look for these is I know, once again, we're in a high flow area where the larger gold's gonna be. The fact that if they didn't move this, if all they did was roll it over, there's a good possibility that in this area where it was sitting, they could have missed a piece of gold. So the fact that the smaller stuff where they can wash it clean down to the bedrock and clean everything up good, you get in the area with these big giant rocks, was not so easy. You know, they're rolling the boulder, there's a good chance they could miss something, so I like to look around these. Downside is, so does everybody else. But at least you know with these, the other larger rocks, this area of the river had a substantial flow, so it stands a chance to have larger gold. Okay, well, let's grab the detector and see if we can find any of this larger gold. Now the question is, where do we start detecting? Right here, we have a large boulder. And I don't know how well it's showing it, but right here, you can see that they hand stacked these rocks in here. So basically, right where my camera's sitting, there was either a sluice box here or they were running water through here. But the odds are pretty good that they didn't move this rock. And they're hucking stuff up here. There's a good chance that along with this stuff, because everything's muddy, you know, you're not going to be able to see the gold. You know, this is just be a dark red mud, this stuff coming through here. It's a good chance as they're throwing stuff up in this pile out of this work area, there could be a nice little piece of gold going with it. So, you know, knowing that this hasn't moved, right behind the camera there's another one, and basically right at the foot of the camera there's another large boulder. So this tells me that this wall was here when they were working this. So this is where I want to start, is on this wall, see if they threw anything out. Okay, now that target that we just picked up here, it's a very, very faint target, which is what you're going to get. A very seldom. Normally, if you get a loud screaming target, it's a 22 bullet or something like that. So when you're working these pits, you got to have a good set of earphones, and you have to have your machine turned so you can pick up the faintest targets, because that's going to be your gold. Two reasons. Number one, most of the gold's going to be small, and it's not going to be on the surface unless it's on a steep bank. Secondly, the odds are this has already been detected, and all the big loud ones on the surface are gone. We're looking for the ones that they missed. Okay, let me grab my scraper and we'll dig up our first bullet. It doesn't really matter the scraper you're using, but one thing that's very important that will save you a lot of time is have a good magnet on it, because 99% of your targets are going to be iron objects, little pieces of nail, little pieces of wire, and if you got a magnet, it'll save you so much time, because you're not going to spend 10 minutes on each target. Digging this out, if this is iron, I'm only going to spend a couple of, 30 seconds on it, then I'm going to the next target. Where if I got to dig it out, find it, run it through my hands, all that, it takes a long time. So good magnet is an absolute must. Okay, let's see if we got some gold. Now when you're digging, especially on an edge like this, you got to be real careful what you do with your material, because if it is a small piece of gold and it's right close to the surface and you pull it down, it could fall down into these rocks here where you can no longer read it and lose the target. So you want to pull your gravel out, throw it uphill on a flat spot, that way you can check it, and if you did move it, it's up there where it's safe. Okay, let's check it, see if we got it. Okay, we have moved it. Okay, we got it in our pile. And don't throw your gravel away until you find a target. Because I can tell you from experience, it's very difficult to go find it again after you've thrown it away. Like I just did. Okay, finally I got it in my hand. Now very carefully, I can't use both hands. That one's got the titanium. I have no idea what that is. Yep. Just found it. Well, what we have here is the best thing and the worst thing about metal detectors nowadays. That is one tiny little steel shot. But then again, if that was a piece of gold, that would be a nice little piece of gold. Okay. Now when you're out detecting, help the next guy out. Don't drop that, put it in your pocket and take it home. The next guy will thank you for it. Oh, one more thing before I forget. If you're finding targets, those little pieces of shot, little square nails, lead, that's a good, especially lead, is a good indication that if the area you're working has been detected, whoever was detecting it wasn't very good. Otherwise, all those targets would be gone. So if you're finding targets, you know you're in an area that hasn't been hit that hard, so your odds improve on finding gold. Okay, I got me a really loud target right here, which is probably a square nail. Okay, I'm going to dig that up. If something good, I'll turn the camera back on. If not, I'm just going to go back to detecting, because hopefully I want to go home with a piece of gold. Okay, our target was a couple pieces of iron. Now, I knew by the sound of that target that that was a large iron object. You always dig all targets. Two reasons. Number one, you really don't know what it is, and it could be something really cool. Even though it's made out of iron, you know, it could be a really cool artifact. Number two, there could be an ounce nugget underneath this, and your metal detector is not going to pick it up if you're discriminating out this. So I know that this spot right here, as far as metal detectors go, is virgin ground because nobody's dug this out. Now that this is out of the hole, I can check, see if there's any gold under it. Okay, dig all your targets. Well, I've been detecting for quite a while. Matter of fact, the sun is way over and it's time to leave. But a couple of rocks here caught my eye, and I was getting the camera set up to show you these rocks, and I thought, well, I'll detect this area. And I just found our first piece of gold. Let me show you. And clean it off a little better. But that is a really nice piece of gold for here. Now let me show you, well, first I'm going to put this in the bottle so I don't lose it. And then let me show you what caught my eye here. One of the things I look for is rocks that don't belong here. Something about them, their color, you know, they're not bedrock, they're not the regular gravel. It's just, they got a look about them. And there's a couple here, actually there's several here, but one is, well, let me show you. I got that piece of gold out of right here, but this is what caught my eye. This one, you can tell just by looking at it, that's a really heavy rock. And then we have this one right here. Completely different color than any other rock around, and same thing. Shiny and a real heavy rock. And there's another one right over here that's real dark. This area right here, we have rocks with stains on them. We have gravel, almost looks like it's in place. Right here, this stains on it. That this area looked really good to me. Okay, well, we got to get out of here, but you know, I found that piece of gold right here. I'm going to check this whole area real quick and make sure there was only one piece. Sounds like we got a good target in this area. Sounds kind of weird, actually. I don't know what it is. I wonder if it could be in that rock. Oh, that thing is solid. Check that before we throw it away. Nope. Uh-oh, where'd it go? We throw it away. Okay. Okay, I give up. Finally. Oh, what? Oh, it's another piece of gold. All right. Not very big. Right there. Nice little chunky piece. That's two out of the same area. Put this in the bottle. We're going to keep checking this spot. Okay, let's give this place some once over. We still got a target on top of our rock. Okay, we got it in our hand. Another piece of gold. I think this is the largest piece I've ever found here. See if I can get that to focus on that. Clean it off a little bit. That's a nice little nugget there. Okay, we're on a roll now. I may have to go to the truck and get a flashlight because that's the third piece of gold out of this one spot. Let's check that rock again. That rock's been pretty good to us. Well, looks like we're done with the rock. I'm going to check the other side of that. Sounds like we still got a target down there. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn that rock back over. That was kind of handy. That's actually a really handy rock. Right there, but I can't. Let me pull this rock out of here. Make sure it's not in that. Nope. Okay. Okay, we got it on a rock. Oh, we got it in our hand. And we have another piece of gold. They're getting smaller though. Right there. Okay, nothing on a rock. Got a real weak signal here. Yep. Okay. Yep, we moved it. Attack. I'm not sure we had another piece of gold, but it's a little boot tack. Okay, let's check this one more time. Okay, well that was a pretty good run. Obviously, this spot right here, they must have shoveled it up or something and caught those pieces of gold because they were all within an area that big of each other. It is getting really late, and as much as I hate to, I gotta leave because I'll be hiking to the truck in the dark if I don't. So I'm gonna pick everything up, put it all away, pack up the camera and all that, and I'm gonna hit this area one more time before I get out of here. So if I find another piece of gold, I'll turn the camera on. If not, I'm sure I'll see you back at the house because when I get to the truck, it's probably going to be pretty close to dark. All right, see you back at the house. Well, made it back to the house, and yeah, you guessed it, it's the next day. But I got a reason why it's the next day. Quite a bit of black sand, but no gold. Doesn't look like we're going to be adding any gold to the tank. I got that other gold all cleaned up. We say we throw it on the scale and see how we did. Okay, let's check our biggest nugget first. 2.41 grams. That's not a bad piece, okay? The rest on there. Well, as hard as I work to find this tack, I should be able to count it, but I guess we won't. Well, we ended up with 4.85 grams. Well, a bit over 3 pennyweights. I'm okay with that. Now, we say we take a look at that other gold and put it all on the scale and see how we did the last 3 trips out. Okay, here's the gold found when we went out with Bedrock Bennett and Jerry. 2.66 grams. And a total of 4.11 grams. Okay. And then here's the gold we got when we worked the other hydraulic pit. And we have a total of 3.03 grams. Okay, let's put it all on there. As you go, we got our last trip. Just go from my hydraulic pit, and there's the gold from Bennett's Creek. And we have a total of 11.94 grams, or 7.67 pennyweights. Well, a little over 7.5 pennyweights. I'm okay with that. That's getting dangerously close to a ½ ounce. And, you know, those 2 nice chunkers I got when I went out with Bennett and Jerry. Even though Bennett took us down into the canyon from hell, it's a good spot. And I tell you what, if old Bedrock Bennett wants to take you mining, you better go. All right, well, I already know that this video is going to be stupid long. So I'm going to cut her short right here and get out of here so you guys have a wonderful day.